Hi, I'm Deanne Fitzmaurice, and I'm a photographer based in the San Francisco Bay Area. I've been taking photos for probably about 25 years, working as a photojournalist, mainly at the San Francisco Chronicle. I would say my style of photography is humanitarian, documentary. The subjects that interest me are social issues. I love being a fly on the wall and capturing moments. I like to travel light, and I usually use two bodies. So I'll have two Canon 5Ds, usually one with a 24-70 and one with a 70 to 200 millimeter, both 2.8 lenses. And I like to go like that. I even like to use one body when possible, but I like to have a second body close by as a backup. I take a think tank airport security roller, and I have it loaded up with usually two bodies. I will have, generally on most assignments, I'll have my two primary lenses are the 24-70 and the 70-200. A lot of times I bring a fast 50. I have a 50-1.4 that I like. I'll bring one or two flashes depending on what I'm going to be shooting. Sometimes a battery pack. Depending on the assignment, I may bring a long lens, a 300-2.8 or 400-2.8, particularly when I'm shooting sports. I use a Dell XPS laptop running Windows Vista. I like to bring an external hard drive because as I'm shooting and downloading images, I always like to have them in two places at once. So I'll back them up on a hard drive and keep that in a separate place, like maybe keep that in my camera bag when my laptop's back at the hotel. The story that's meant the most to me that I've worked on is a story about a boy named Salah Khalaf who came to America for medical treatment after an explosion in Iraq. And I followed his journey as he came to America for medical treatment. He had 32 surgeries during his time at Children's Hospital in Oakland. And then he was not allowed to go back because his father was getting threats from Iraqi insurgents. They figured that he must be an American spy. So they were not able to return to Iraq, and they ended up staying in America. So I continued to follow that journey as Salah learned English and went to school in America, and they just learned the American life. Eventually, his mother came along and the other siblings, they came to America. And so I documented that whole journey. The things that really meant a lot to me about that story were, when the story was published, it helped his family quite a bit. There was a lot of emotional support, a lot of financial support for the family. And also I think the story helped to grant them amnesty. They went through the amnesty process and included the story in with the application, and they were immediately granted amnesty to stay in America. And then shortly after, they were allowed to bring the rest of the family along through this amnesty program. The story eventually won the Pulitzer Prize in 2005. I would say my tip for aspiring photographers is passion. You have to have passion and drive to succeed. If you have that, there's nothing that can stop you.